There are places on this earth that hold secrets darker than the night, mysteries buried under sand, and stories that whisper through the winds of time. Among them lies one of the deadliest landscapes in history, a desert so merciless that even the bravest travelers trembled before crossing it. And when its storms rise, no human, no caravan, no army can escape alive. This is not just a story of sand and wind. It is a history written in blood, fear, and silence. A history of a storm that devours everything in its path. A storm that has been feared for centuries. The desert tempest that spares no one. Centuries ago, in the heart of North Africa and stretching across the Middle East, there lay a region often referred to as the Desert of Death. Locals had many names for it. Some called it the Silent Womb, others the Burning Hell. Today historians identify it as part of the vast Sahara, but for those who lived in its shadow, it was far more than endless sand. Legends whispered that the desert itself was alive. Its dunes shifted like breathing lungs, its winds screamed like tortured souls, and at night, the air carried strange sounds like voices calling for help. But the true terror of this desert wasn't the heat or thirst. It was the storm. A storm unlike anything you can imagine. Historical manuscripts dating back nearly 1,000 years describe the storm as if it were a beast born from the earth's fury. In the year 524 AD, a caravan of nearly 500 travelers vanished in a single night. Not a trace of them was ever found, not their bodies, not their camels, not even their gold. The Bedouins said the jinn of the sands had awakened. Scholars believe it was the desert tempest, a monstrous storm that could rise without warning, swallowing everything within miles. Winds howled at more than 150 miles per hour, sharp grains of sand cutting through skin like blades. Darkness fell as if night had descended in the middle of the day. Even the strongest animals collapsed, blinded, suffocated. Entire armies vanished in minutes. Perhaps the most chilling account comes from Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian. He wrote of a mighty Persian army, 50,000 soldiers, sent by King Cambyses II in 524 BC to destroy the oracle of Amun in Egypt. They marched bravely into the desert. Day after day the sun scorched them, but they pushed on. Until one night the wind began to roar. At first it was only a whisper. Then it became a scream. Sand whipped through their camps, extinguishing fires, tearing down tents. By dawn, the desert had risen like an ocean wave. The entire army was consumed. 50,000 men, gone. Buried alive under sand so deep that no bone, no sword, no shield was ever seen again. For centuries, explorers searched for the remains of Cambyses' army. And each time, they too met the wrath of the storm. Modern scientists now call this phenomenon the Habub storm. When hot desert air collides with cool winds, the sky becomes a battlefield. Walls of sand, sometimes over 3,000 feet high, race across the horizon. To stand in front of it is like staring at the end of the world. But what science explains in terms of physics, the ancients experienced as pure terror. Imagine walking with your family, your caravan loaded with food and water. Suddenly, the sun disappears. The sky turns blood red. The sound is deafening, like 1,000 drums beating at once. Then comes suffocation. Sand fills your lungs, blinds your eyes, tears your skin. You try to hold your loved one's hand, but in seconds, they're gone, lost in a wall of dust. This is why generations of desert tribes pass down one warning. When the storm rises, do not run. Do not fight. Lie down, cover your head, and pray. Few survive to tell the tale. One account speaks of a merchant named Harun al-Rashid in the 9th century. His caravan of 60 men was caught in the storm. When it ended, only 2 survived. Harun described the storm as the wrath of God, saying he could hear men screaming but could not see their faces through the blinding sand. Another survivor, a woman named Laila, said she felt hands pulling her in the storm, like invisible spirits trying to drag her into the dunes. When she woke, she was half buried, her companions gone. For the rest of her life, she never crossed the desert again. Today, historians and archaeologists have discovered scattered evidence, fossilized remains of camels, fragments of pottery, weapons buried deep in sand. Each discovery whispers the same truth: the desert storm is not just a tale, it is real. In 2012, archaeologists claim to have found skeletal remains believed to be part of Cambyses' lost army. But even then, local guides refused to camp near the site, fearing the storm would awaken again. For the desert remembers. It guards its dead. The true horror lies in how fast the storm strikes. Unlike hurricanes or monsoons, these desert tempests give little warning. One moment the horizon is clear, the next, a towering wall of sand is rushing at you. There is no shelter, no water, no escape. The winds strip flesh from bone. Sand buries everything: humans, animals, wagons, under layers that can rise 10, 20, even 30 feet high. Within hours, a thriving caravan road becomes nothing but silence. And silence is all that remains. Locals still believe the storm is more than nature, it is a curse. They say it is the punishment of the desert for human arrogance, for those who dare to challenge its power. Some whisper it is the voice of the dead army, crying through the winds. Others say it is the breath of ancient gods, warning mankind never to enter forbidden lands. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: no one can survive this desert storm. When we look back at history, we often see battles, empires, kings and queens. But beyond the palaces and wars, there are forces greater than humanity. The desert storm is one of them. It has swallowed armies, erased cities, and silenced voices for thousands of years. It is a reminder that no matter how powerful mankind becomes, nature holds the final word. So next time you see the golden dunes of the desert, remember the stories buried beneath them. Stories of men and women who vanished without a trace. Stories of screams lost in the wind. Stories of a storm that still roams waiting. Because when it comes, no one, no king, no soldier, no traveler can escape.